Hi guys! This is the second time to make this video, so if I'm rushing, I apologize. You can rewatch this part or this video as much as possible, or as much as you need, okay? I'm going to go through all the questions. One question is going to take you a really long time, but that's okay. But none of these are too bad. You can do all of this pretty easily. Alright, so I told you in class to work on this question, so some of you may already have it done, so we're just going to go really fast through it. Alright, so we're again trying to get the G's by themselves. Those are the princesses. So we want to get this G removed. If you can't already hear, Connor's here helping, so you may hear him throughout. Okay, so we're going to remove one G from both sides. Alright, and we're left with -4. Shh, Connor, you're helping not. Alright, 2 minus 1 is just the G plus 6. So now I have to get rid of this plus 6. So I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. And G will equal, so use your calculator. You can either do -4 plus -6 or -4 minus 6. It's the same thing. We get -10. Alright, so G equals -10. Alright, now this next one is going to scare you, but it shouldn't. All it is, if I were to give you this question right here, it's no different than this. It is the exact same thing, except it has fractions. They put them in there to scare you. Don't let them. You do the same thing that you would. Just like we combined our G's together first, we're going to combine our A's together first. Alright, we're going to take this 2/12 or 2/12A, and we're going to combine it with our other A. So the opposite of a positive is a negative. So we're going to subtract 2A divided by 12 on both sides. Now, the reason they give you this kind of problem is because they know you have this to use. And we can use fractions in these calculators really easy. So, just like we did, this is 3/4 A, and this is minus 2/12 A. So, in your calculator, you go, I know you can't see it very well, but you're going to go alpha, stat plot, and it is 3/4 minus alpha stat plot 2/12 equals 7/12. Alright, so this is going to be 7/12 A. Don't forget that A part. Plus 1/3 equals 7/8. Okay, so now we have to get this part gone. We have to get this 1/3 because we want our A's and our variables on the or our constants on the same side. So we're going to subtract 1/3 from both sides. So it's going to be 7/8 alpha stat plot 7/8 minus 1/3, and you get 13/24 equals 7/12 A. Alright, so that's what I got. I got 13/24. That's how I got this. And this canceled out. And so I'm left with my 7/12 A, sorry guys, and this. Now, they're attached with multiplication, so we're going to divide. Guys, I know this looks crazy, but all it is just going to cancel out, and I'm going to be left with A. So now we're going to do it in our calculator. 13/24 divided by 7, oops, helps if I do it right, 7/12, and you left with 13/14. So that's your final answer. So again, this is no harder than this one right up here. It's the exact actually amount of steps. You just don't let the fraction scare you. You have a calculator. Now, with that all being said, we're going to skip 6. It's the same way this one was, and we're just going to skip it. Okay. Now on to the word problems. And so, sad to say, that's majority of your test. Okay? Majority of your test is these kind of questions. Alright? So, it says a public beach in Florida charges non-residents $8 per day. Okay, anytime you see a per, I want you to put a multiply, a symbol above it. So 8 per day, okay? For a fishing license, and $2.50 per day for live bait. Florida citizens, so these are citizens, not non-citizens, pay an annual fee of $114 plus, that tells you what sign it is, $1 per day. Ah, so there's that per again. $1 per day for live bait. How many days, so this is the question part, how many days must both residents and non-residents use the beach in 1 year to pay the same amount? Okay, same amount would be equal, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. We're talking about equal. So this is, another way to write this is 8 times D or 8D. That's the more algebraic way. All right. And $2.50 per day, which so that, and we're going to add those two together because there's both of them. That's the and part. Okay, and then this is for non-residents. And now we need the residents, the people who actually live there. They have to pay $114 plus the $1 a day. So that would be just D, wouldn't it? 1D is just 1. So now we have our equation. Is there anything we can combine here? Yes, you should answer, because these both have D on them. So they're like terms, and they need to be combined. So 8 plus 2.5 is 10.5. So 10.5D equals 114 plus D. Now, I have to get rid of the D's, or we want the D's on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 1 day on both sides here. Alright, so this is going to be 9.5D equals 114. So now we have to figure out what it is for just 1 day, which is the whole point of the question. 114 divided by 9.5 is 12. So it takes 12 days for them to have the same amount. So if a guy not from Florida shops for 13 days, he's paying more than a Florida citizen. But if a Florida citizen doesn't fish for 12 days, he doesn't get his benefits of his fishing license. Okay, so this is days. Okay. Now, I'm going to skip number 8, and then we're going to add 9 and 10. They all kind of go together. And we're going to drop down to 11, because majority of our tests are like 9 or like 11, 12, and 13. Okay. It says Miss White and Miss Plum decide to combine their classes today. All right, combine tells you need to add. All right. And their classes for a day. Write an equation, so I know it has to have an equal sign, for Miss White if Miss White has 11 more, so that would be plus 11, right, students than Miss Plum. So I'm going to give them variables. We're going to say Miss White is a W and Miss Plum is a P. Okay? So we know Miss White has 11 more students than Miss Plum. So it's going to be Miss White and plus 11 students of Miss Plum's. So because Miss Plum's doesn't have quite as much as Miss White. So it's going to be Miss Plum's plus 11 plus Miss White's students, and it's going to equal the combined class. So there is our equation. Now, let's move on to 12. The telephone company charges a flat fee. All right, alarm bells should be ringing in your head. We've talked about this. When it just tells you a flat fee or just a single number, that is your constant. It's like the guards, okay? It's how many guards. You know they can see that, right? The guards. Oh, Connor's helping out. All right. And an additional, that's adding 9 cents. So we're going to add 9 cents. But wait, do you see the per? I told everyone every time when you see per, write multiply. And since we don't know how many minutes, we're going to put M. So it's going to be 0.9 minutes. All right. And that is going to be our cost, because it says write an equation, so I have to have my equal sign for cost for the phone bills. And minutes are what we don't know. So anytime you see a flat fee, that's going to be your constant kind of hanging out by himself. Not having anything multiplied by it. It's like the guards. And when you're dealing with minutes or something having per, it is our dependent variable, and it has to be multiplied by something. And in this case, it's 9 cents. And they told us it had to be added. All right, so now let's go to 13. This is another one, very much like the last one. Okay, it's about a yard guy, and he charges $75 setup fee. There's your independent or your constant. It is every time he walks in, he's paying that, you're paying that. And I'm sorry, I think it's 15, not 75. Okay, so a $15 setup fee. And then plus an additional $4 per foot. You should be screaming, per. Per means multiply. So you're plus $4 per foot. So that right there, there's my expression. I've got it. I didn't have to do anything but read the sentence. But it asks for an equation. So it wants the equation for C cost. We've already done the feet. And so now we just have to figure out the cost. That's all they want. They want to see if you can translate the words into an equation. That's the big part of this test. The majority of the questions are like this. Now, these we're going to fly through because you already know how to do them. We have practiced this many, many times. You're going to have your own set for the test. And all you have to ask yourself is, what do the shaded mean? And I'll tell you, in this review, the shaded means positive, and the clear or the non-shaded ones are negative, which is kind of a switch up from what we've been practicing with the yellow and the red, but it's still, as long as they tell you, you can do it. Okay, so this first one, they're all shaded, so it's all going to be positive because every single one of these is shaded. Now, the long ones, remember, those are the princesses, so those are our X's. And the individual ones are our guards, and they're going to be positive. They each count for 1. So it is going to be X plus 3 because it's positive. That line is always our equal sign. And then these are positives, so there are 5 of them. So this is the equation that one represents. Guys, you are really good at this. They don't even ask you to solve these. They just want you to write what equation it is. And there's a bunch like this on the test. So we're going to go through quite a few pretty fast. All right, what equation does this one represent? Again, the shaded are positives, the clear are negatives. Here are some negatives. So we have 2 positive x's. So it's going to be written as 2x because there's 2 princesses. And how many negative guards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bad guys, bad guards in the tower with the princess. So it's going to be subtract 7. This always means equal. And there are 3 positive guards trying their very best to get in. Okay? Now, if you would have written this like 2x plus a negative 7 equals 3, I would count it right. But I tell you on the test, they drop that double sign thing and just make it negative 7 or subtract 7. Okay? Alright. Now we're to 16. Notice everything is clear. So everything on this one is going to be negative. All of it. Even our x's. And we didn't do a whole lot with the bad princesses, but essentially that's what it is. These are 3 bad princesses. So it's just a negative 3x or negative 3p. You can pick whatever variable you want. And then here are 5 bad guards in there with the bad princesses. So I guess the princess won't mind much. Okay? And then on the ground, there are, count them up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 bad guards trying to steal the princess away. Everything in here is bad. Notice this is negative, and this is negative. Everything is clear, so everything needs to be negative. Alright. Here we go. Now, here is this one. This one has princesses on both sides. One is a bad princess, and here are 2 good princesses. So this is going to be positive 2x, because that's our princesses, minus, she's got some bad, or they've got some bad guards with them. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bad guards in there with them, equals, now let's talk about this side. This is 1 bad princess, so a negative x, and 2 good guards there. So altogether, that is your equation. Okay, this one right here, everything is negative. Again, everything is. So we have to have, here are 3 bad princesses and 5 bad guards. Alright, we jump to the other side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 bad princesses and 2 bad guards. And notice they just say what equation is represented by this picture. They don't even want us to solve them. They just want us to be able to look at the pictures and translate what it means. That's a big part of this, is taking what they give us and being able to make an equation out of it. Alright, 19, last one, and then we have to go back. Alright, what equation is represented in this picture? Alright, notice they're all shaded again. So, there is 1 princess plus 5 guards equals 5 guards on the ground. That's all they want. You could probably have done the most of these without my help. Okay, now we're going to go back to the one that I think is going to give you the most trouble. And the thing about it is I'm only going to slightly explain it. Okay? As weird as that sounds, I'm only going to talk about how they're similar and how they're different. So, I want you to look at these 2. I want you to look at them. The pink one and the green one. Alright? What is the only thing that you see is different about them? Alright? The only thing that I can tell that is different about these is this one has parentheses. And that should send alarm bells to you that we need to distribute this one. That 2/3 to both those numbers, and we need to distribute. This one has no parentheses, so we don't need to distribute. We just need to combine what we know and then solve. So, how are they similar? Well, they have the same numbers in the same order, right? Same numbers in same order. And how are they different? The parentheses. And that means we must distribute. Distribute. I didn't spell that right, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, so it means we have to give the 2/3 to the x and to the -6. Now, it says, do they have the same solution? Okay, I'm going to see if you can do this. Guys, you have a calculator. I want you to try to see, does it change the answer if you distribute them? I'm leaving this one up to you. This one's a tough one, but it's totally doable. And I want you to go the extra steps and solve this problem, the pink problem, and then the green problem. I'm going to leave this one to you to do on your own. Now that I've pointed out the main parts of it, I want you to try this one on your own. I'll be checking this. And tomorrow, which is, on Wednesday, I'm going to take this whole packet as a grade. This whole thing, it should be filled out because you followed every question with me, and I'm going to check to see if you did this one, or at least attempted it, guys. If you still struggled on it with a little bit, I will come and help, but guys, we need to know how to do these. We have done them. We have a daily Darth Vader just like them. So, this is your review. Thank you. I'm sorry for all the commotion and me having to do this twice, but I will see you Wednesday, and I am so sorry I missed y'all. Bye, guys.